We're gonna read heat waves. I'm always bad at.
Sometimes I think about you. Late night in the middle of June. Heat waves been faking me out.
So I'm not gonna do an
Your
intro. I'm just gonna. Yeah. So in summary, Dream has always held a gentle admiration for George. But when their nuanced friendship trickles into his sleeping mind, he awakens to a new world, conflicting emotions and longing. Lost in the midst of a heat wave, you get it? He continuously listens to a song that works itself to the very core of his heartache. Floridian nights, unsent messages, spiraling infatuation, and terrible, terrible weather. A breath of frustration escapes George's lips. I don't do that. We're going in full screen also because I'm not bad at things. You do. It's okay, Dream says. He feels pinpricks of warmth building in his chest. The words rise up faster than he can temper, laced with soft honey. You're so cute. I'm already in pain. The call falls silent. They heard it. The affection in the tone of his voice, different than usual. No trace of humor. The way it came from the hearth below his heart, glowing with secrecy and shame. For George and George only. They had to have heard it. It's inspired by the song Heat Waves by Glass Animals.
Okay, but I feel like it needs to be clear.
Yeah.
In this recording.
Yes.
You're reading it ironically, and I am forcing you to read it unironically.
Yeah. Okay. So, mini intro. I hate this. This is the worst. And I'm probably going to be making a lot of jokes. I'm being made to read this in an unironic desire. And I'm compromising because I absolutely 100% without a doubt would not be reading this if it wasn't for the entertainment of the people around me. So I'm only reading it right now because it's gonna make you happy, and maybe one person on the internet might laugh at it, and that's good enough for me. I would throw myself into oncoming traffic if it would make someone smile. So that's what we're doing here.
I just feel like it needs to be clear that
Don't expect a serious reading, yeah.
You're suffering, and I'm over here quivering. So
Perfect. And you want to get on me, by the way. I'm just gonna take that usage of the word quivering. I use so many positive and happy words that you're like, that's sexual. Anyways. I'm gonna take a drink. Damn you Dover boys, you drive me to drink. So this chapter is called Moon Jelly. Chapter notes. This is my first time writing a dream not found fic. I heard the song Heat Waves by Glass Animals for the first time and fell in love. Please take the time to listen to it if you haven't already. It fits them so well I had to write about it. I'm excited and I hope you enjoy. Smiley face. Do not share this to the CCs in any tags, donos, or other sources. I will delete it. Please do not pass around PDFs, plagiarized versions, or upload my work to other sites. I will delete it. Hear that? There's also more notes at the end of the chapter.
All of that has happened, and it's not yet deleted.
Nice. A gentle glow from the computer screen washes over the dark desk, colors flickering in rapid motion. The monitor whirs in self-defense of the growing heat. Why is even the computer sexualized? Why are...
What are you talking about?
That's just so not like... Also,
it's flowery writing, not sexy writing.
This is smut-fic writing. That's what this is.
Fight me.
This is 50 Shades of Grey writing. This is what this is.
Hush your face.
Also, I'm going to be doing a lot of pausing and sighing, and I don't know yet if I'm going to be editing that out. This might just be raw footage. I'm like 85% certain it's gonna be raw footage, but sometimes I get a hair up my butt and I feel like editing, so we'll see.
Podcast, except it's just us reading fanfic and me enjoying it and you wanting to yeet.
I mean, I would be down with that. That would be entertaining. That would be fun. Well, anyways. The ceiling fan lays mockingly silent in the stifling air. Reclined in his seat, Dream's head is tilted back to watch the wooden slats for the slightest tremor. Betrayal. Beads of sweat collect near his hairline. He tugs absently on the sticky plastic of his headphones where they rest around his neck. The small light on the exterior blinks green. Dream? He hears George say faintly. Also, another thing, I don't know. I don't have any of these people's voices internalized, so this dialogue is just gonna be
Oh,
identical.
Here's a great one. Okay. George is British and Sapnap is a bruh.
Bruh, like how bruh, like bro dude?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. All right, we're going as far to both corners as we possibly can. Oh wait, did he leave? Sapnap asks. Uh, it says he's still on the. It says he's on the call still. George's voice slowly grows closer. I believe that was supposed to be George who said that. Dream begins to unattach his eyes from the fan. Dream? The concern in his voice makes Dream sit up. He pushes his headphones back on and wipes his face. Yes, hello, sorry, I zoned out for a sec. He blinks to register what's on his screen, seeing green grass blocks and Sapnap's avatar crouching in front of him. Shoot, did you end the stream? He quickly tabs out just in time to see George laugh. British laugh .wav. No, but I'm about to. Couldn't end it without you saying bye, George says. The small considerate act was enough to bloom a warmth in Dream's chest. He smiles. Oh, alright. Bye, stream. Bye, Sapnap yells. George waves to the camera. Bye, you guys. Thank you so much. Also, pray for Dream's air conditioning. And my broken fan, Dream adds. F. Bye-bye, George repeats, then disappears from Dream's view. This stream has ended. A familiar feeling creeps into Dream's chest whenever that message appears post-stream. Disappointment clouded with confusion. Today, it is accompanied by trickles of regret. He frowns. Sorry I spent so much of your stream complaining about the weather, he says, clicking back to the server. Sapnap has placed an oak sign before him that reads, Wee wah, Dream can't take the heat. He rolls his eyes and breaks it. It's fine, really. I just feel bad for you, George says. His avatar bounds over and starts placing doors on the ground. Any idea when it'll be fixed? Soon, I hope, Dream answers with a huff. Opening and closing the doors to appease George. I don't think I can take in much more of this. They'd been playing for the past 3 hours, meaning Dream had been accumulating enough sweat in his boxers to stick to his chair for much longer than any man should. Physical comfort was a key component for him to stay mellow, and not much could distract him from itchy tags and blistering heat. Not much, that is, besides gaming. Seeing you was nice, though. Something about your cheerful face distracts me from my agony, he confesses, words leaving his mouth before he can attempt to filter. Ye kringes! What was that?
What was that?
Cringes. That's the pronunciation we're going with. Oh my god, shut up, George says. He sounds embarrassed. Sapnap coos! Maybe I should stream with my camera on too. Dream laughs, running away from the two of them to ease his sudden spike in nervousness. That would keep my attention. Oh yeah? Are my streams not interesting enough for you, Dream? George says, flying after him. What? Dream says, feeling a pang of guilt. What makes you think that? I love your streams. George continues to act offended. Well, if you loved them, you wouldn't zone out randomly. I didn't mean to, Dream whines. Why? Stop, brain. Dream whines, which only makes the other two laugh. I just got distracted by my misery, and I tried to airbend a breeze in here. Aha.
Dream is a canonical Avatar fan. Absolutely. Canon now.
Yeah, right, Sapnap says. You couldn't have been doing just that for 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Dream repeats, bewildered. He didn't feel it had been that long. He was exploring the map and then clicked on the George's stream to see where he was, and of course George was smiling and yelling, but somehow so full of energy and spirit, and the hot air started to seep into Dream's soul. You were AFK for a while, George says. We were still talking to you, though, and thought you'd muted yourself or something. Chat thought it was embarrassing. Oh, Dream says. Hold on, did you mean to mute yourself? Sapnap asks, laughing at his own insinuation. A little too excited watching George. Both Dream and George explode in disgusted yells. Good lord, Sapnap. Sapnap! George sends a series of hits raining down onto his avatar. You are so inappropriate off stream. You're
Cue
gross.
the Sapnap being sus for 6 minutes videos.
I really hope that George voice is doing it for you, because I
it's pretty bad.
perfect. Because I'm really just going. I'm like phoning in British.og. You're gross, Dream says with a laugh, but it's feeble and half-hearted. His pulse is rapidly drumming inside his skull. He's not lost to the strange dilemma of why he faded from their call for so long to stare at his Georgeless ceiling. Why did George have anything to do with it? Envy, perhaps, of his friend's ability to be wearing a hoodie in the middle of summer? He brushed it off. It's true, though. George's face does get me excited. I'm really happy I'm not a big enough person on the internet to have these quotes clipped out of context. That is one thing I'm going to say I'm grateful for.
Watch this be the thing that makes you big enough for that, though.
I won't even care. I will be happy to take that L. Like, if I'm known as the Heatwaves fanfic reading guy, I'm known as the Heatwaves fanfic reading guy. At least I'm known. At least I'm known. And I love this stuff. Reading fanfics, those are some of my favorite videos.
You said that you read 2 fanfic before.
Oh, I've read 2 fanfics.
How dare you?
But like Bren Daniel is one of my favorite YouTubers who used to do that stuff. It's great. As a YouTube content niche, fantastic. Anyways, George groans, making Sapnap and Dream laugh. Now you're just trying to make me uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. Sorry, let me enunciate that syllable more. I'm doing British. Okay, wait. Flustered, you mean? Dream inputs quickly. Okay, no. I'm sick of you two, George says, immediately exiting their server. Consider this a rage quit. George not found has left the game. Dream sends a left parenthesis into the chat. That's a sad face. No, Georgie, Sapnap pleads. You did a great job today, Dream says wholeheartedly. I'm gonna rewatch what I missed of it later. George laughs. This is reminding me of that Peppa Pig fanfiction with all of this.
Goreg?
Yeah, Goreg. Goreg laughs.
Goreg.
I seriously have to. Oh, wait. That's George.
People call him Gogi.
Grogi? Amazing.
Gogi.
Gogi. Oh.
Gogi. Gogy.
Wow. I seriously have to go. I'll talk to you soon, he says, a small sound, emitting from Discord, signifying he's left the call. The feeling returns to Dream's chest. It's akin to the cold rush that follows when he removes his hands from a steaming coffee mug. Some nights after their friends have logged off for good, he'll do anything to avoid giving in and going to bed. Twitter, minigames, coding, creating playlists. His favorite nights, though, are when George wakes up early enough to keep him company. Their conversations radiate with the warmth of both the Florida night and the English sunrise. So whenever George jokingly becomes angry with him, Dream can't dispel the tiny tremor of worry that maybe he's gone too far. He doesn't like to mull over the thought of them really fighting. It would terrify him like nothing else. He knows George will call again tomorrow and that he isn't nearly as upset as he lets on, yet he still finds himself very carefully watching the dot next to George's name. Wait, Yet he still finds himself carefully watching the dot next to George's name switch from green to a pale gray. I did read that right, it just didn't feel right. I think I'm gonna hop off too, Dream says to Satnap. Alright, see ya.
See ya is one word.
Yep. After
Totally.
disconnecting, he swivels around in his chair to face his bed. The dark comforter has been kicked to the floor, sheets askew. The window above his bed is shut tight to keep out the humid air and insects, but he can see the soft orange streetlights in the distance. He sighs and wishes for rain. That would be disgusting. Why would you do that? He remembers running barefoot on his neighborhood streets as a child when storms would roll in from the sea, splashing in gravelly puddles and letting the cool raindrops dampen his hair. That space was always euphoric. In this moment, I am euphoric. A brief temperance from the smoldering air. Green palm trees swaying in the wind with a hint of thunder and lightning. But it feels so far from him now, especially in this dreadful weather. He turns off his computer and begrudgingly gets into bed. He's nearly grown accustomed to the dark when his phone vibrates. I enunciated that completely incorrectly, but we're moving on. The notification lighting up the room. He squints. A text from George. I feel like this song is a good way for me to get back at you, it reads. Dream clicks on the link, opening his Spotify to a new Glass Animal song. By the way, that wasn't in quotes, so I don't need to do the bad British impersonation. Heat waves, he responds, smiling. Very funny. He'd listen to that in the morning. As he sets his phone back down, Dream finds himself warmed by the gesture, even though it was an insult on his behalf. George was a thoughtful guy. Nothing wrong with appreciating that. Not that Dream found it unnerving that interacting with George had a direct correlation with his general contentment and moods. In fact, it wasn't worth the trials and tribulations of overthinking. Settled by his own logic, he allows for his body to focus on sleep. He slips in and out of shadows, occasionally tossing and turning in irritation at the cotton sheets. The fabric clings to his dampened skin up to the moment he sluggishly kicks it away. Something clatters to the floor, but Dream rolls onto his side. Eventually, the night cools enough for him to sink deeper and deeper until he turns his head from his soft, warm pillow to a cold pile of sand. Confused, he grasps at the foundation beneath him, only for the rocky grains to slip through his fingers. He sits up rapidly, glancing at the beach now surrounding him. Although the image is narrow, he can tell there is a murky purple lagoon lapping a few feet before him. The moon ripples across its ominous surface. The night is quiet, a taunting breeze brushing the back of his neck and bringing chills down his spine. He looks down at his hands, seeing his bright sleeves pushed halfway up his forearms. Bright green. A sinking feeling begins to rot in his stomach as the familiarity sets in. He's been here before. He shifts his head cautiously, realizing where the shadows at the edge of his vision are coming from, and raises a hand to gently graze the ceramic covering his face. He doesn't need a mirror to know what the mask looks like. He pulls up his hood, tensing as he anticipates the next subject he'll recognize. At any moment, behind his right shoulder, a voice will call from the edge of the trees that'll say, Dream? He freezes. That's not right. It wasn't supposed to be. George? He asks quietly. Sorry, George?
I like how nobody said it was George who said dream, but you just like knew.
I mean, who else is it gonna be? What? Duh. I'm not gonna assume that's gonna be a dream. I'm not gonna sapnap it. Take a sip break. George? He asks quietly, turning around with caution. George stands a few feet behind him, goggles perched atop his head and an axe in his hand. He's looking around their location, dazed. The starry sky reflects itself on his lenses. He walks across the sand towards Dream slowly. Where are we? Dream considers curling in on himself, but can't help fighting the comfort of honesty. My head, I guess. He knows from experience that this place values integrity more than anything. Facing it head on, so to speak, he just doesn't know why he'd let George in here. It isn't safe. It's pretty, George says, sitting on the sand next to him. Dream's heart aches faintly at his remark. Once, he'd thought it was pretty too. He couldn't find the words to tell George that after so many years of frantically slipping on the sand, coughing up lungfuls of the dark water, and running from the woods, it had become a thing of nightmares. He stares at George. Could he feel the memories here? So is this, George gestures around with his axe vaguely. Florida?
Oh, crap, I forgot to tell you that Dream is a Florida man.
Yeah, I picked that up.
Shoot, that feels important.
I don't know. He's a man who lives in Florida. That's not necessarily a Florida man.
I consider anybody who lives in Florida somebody who has the potential to become a Florida man.
The potential to become, yes, but
They're born with the radioactive DNA. All they must do is activate it.
Florida genes. Dream cracks a smile. Yeah, you finally made it, he teases softly. George's grin is bright enough to make him look away. It's a lagoon I used to come to as a kid. Do you see those? George points at the water. Dream turns his head, and small glowing blobs appear near the shore. Their light blue color is stark against the darkness as they float idly. They're moon jellies, Dream says in disbelief. He'd never seen them here before. George hums in approval. I don't know how to hum in British, so you're gonna have to fill that one in by yourself. Dream looks at him again, grateful for the mask covering his own features. Pale moonlight makes George's skin glow a soft porcelain, pink lips pressed together in a delicate brush stroke. The word bubbles up from deep in Dream's chest, winding into his bloodstream and landing gracefully in his head. Beautiful. He wants to back away from it, to shove it deep down, but for once, it felt safe here. Safe to admit it to himself without needing an air of humor to skate by on. Here, it wasn't a joke. Why are we here? George asks, in a murmur. In his large brown eyes, Dream can see the faded reflection of his sloppy black and white smile. I know why I'm here, Dream says, but I don't know why you are. A brief rustling of leaves and twigs behind them causes him to tense again. It's really dangerous here, George. We should go. Why? Don't you want to stay in this memory? Dream ignores the comment and lightly wraps an arm around his shoulders to help him up. George doesn't try to stand. He looks at Dream with a confused frown. Nothing is going to hurt us when I'm here, he says. Dream feels his face grow hot. Knock it off. This is serious. George looks at him earnestly. I'm being serious. Now that his arm is draped protectively over George's small frame, Dream becomes extremely aware of how close they are. He can sense George's body heat, watch his chest rise and fall, see the goosebumps on his neck. Dream's heart begins to pound. For how long had he wanted to meet him? To hear his voice in person? The fear inside him slowly begins to ebb away into fondness. The moon jellies rapidly multiply until the lagoon is dappled blue and gleaming. George grins. I told you it's pretty. Because of you, Dream says warmly. Even though George rolls his eyes, he means it. They laugh lightly at each other, sparks blooming as the moments pass. George lets go of his axe. Now, the weapon is down. That's how you know it's getting serious. George lets go of his axe and raises his hand to reach for the ceramic mask. Dream freezes as his eyes follow the motion. His hood falls when George runs his fingers gently through his hair. He can't remember the last time he let someone do this. It feels intimate. It feels terrifying. His eyes shut when George finds the metal clasp on the back of his head. He exhales when he feels the weight of the mask drop from his face. The breeze is cold on his cheeks. He can smell the salt water nearby. He opens his eyes and sees twice as many stars as usual. How did you do that? I've never. He looks at George, who's smiling softly. I know honesty is important to you, George says coyly. His hand moves to gently touch Dream's cheekbone. Dream reaches and delicately takes George's hand in his. He feels alive. He leans closer, studying George's eyes until he slips down further to his soft lips. His breath is trembling. And what if I kissed you right now? He murmurs, heart racing. How honest would that be? George's eyes grow wide. Well, Dream, he stammers, giving Dream exactly what he needed. Their movements happen nearly all at once. The inclining of George's jaw, the slide of Dream's hand into his hair, the connection of their lips. The kiss is raw with emotion and gentle. Hot embers rise from Dream's chest to heat his face. George's lips surreal against his own as they override his senses. His hand rises to softly cup George's jaw. Dream pulls his face closer, breath hot, heart stuttering. His nervous energy quickly ebbs into a strong hearth of longing and want as he kisses George again and again and again. George emits a soft noise, and Dream melts. He can feel George's hands in his hair, then on his neck, then on his chest. Dream pulls away for a moment. His chest rises and falls rapidly as he looks at George's flushed cheeks, mouth kissed red. Because of him, no, that's the end of the sentence. That's it. Because of him.
No, you gotta read it.
Because of him. No, that was the end of the sentence. I enunciated it wrong. I was saying.
I thought it was a comma.
No, I thought it was a comma too. That's why I read it like that. His chest rises and falls rapidly as he looks at George's flushed cheeks and mouth kissed red. Because of him. A low feeling stirs in his stomach, the first flickering of a dangerously hot flame. All of it, all of George, just for him. Dream parts his lips to say something, anything, and promptly wakes up. End of chapter 1.
I feel like the notes at the end are important.
Yeah, I'm gonna read them. Chapter end notes from the author. Thank you so much for reading. Short chapter, but I wanted to put it out there. Criticism, other work suggestions / ideas, just saying hello is all welcome. Also, LOL, I started writing this a few weeks ago, and Dream just recently complained about his AC being broken. Such a weird coincidence. Stop with your divination. This was written by a witch. I'll try to upload quickly. Chapter 2 is ready, but I'm kind of convinced no one will see this. Less than 3.
And it was less than 3.
Alright. Let's alright.
Wait, no, that joke didn't come out how I wait.
Yeah, I don't think that landed. Could you clarify?
I think what I was trying to say, and it was heart, as in people loved
Yeah,
it.
I got it. Okay.
Is that it was less than
like
3
less
people
than 3
who saw
actual
it.
people
No,
saw it.
it was more than 3 people.
I gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
I hope you understand that I'm reading this along.
No, I did, because you said something a couple pages ago that suggested to me. Yeah, the
leapfrog.
Huh?
Did you ever have a leapfrog when you were a kid? Where it's a little like doohickey.
Yeah,
that
you press the pen on the thing, and it. Yeah. I had several of those.
Turn the page noise, like the sparkle noise, to know when to turn the page.
Oh boy. Okay. So that's the end of chapter 1. I'm going to close off this recording so that I have a good separation to know when each one ends and begins. Because they're getting uploaded separately, regardless of if I'm editing them.
2:08 and 3:08 in the morning for me and you, respectively.
Yeah, I'm choosing to spend my 3 o'clock in the morning time that could be valuably spent playing like One Step from Eden, or like staring at a wall. To read this.
We're not lying. We're not lying to the people and pretending you have a regular sleep schedule.
Absolutely not, no. I will say, so far, it's fun to read this, though. So, at the very least, doing it in this way is making me motivated to read the rest of it.
Yeah.
No, where's that quote from the end of it? Kind of convinced no one will see this. That's accurate.
Uh-huh.
Accurate feelings. Anyways, yeah. Yeet.